Hello there. Welcome back to Coffee Break Blogging. This is episode 53. And today we're going to be talking about what should go in the sidebar of your blog. Now, this is an important episode for many people because I actually see when I look at a lot of people's blogs, and I obviously do given what I do for a living, I see a lot of them that are just simply overloaded. It's almost as if people are going in there and going to the widgets section of WordPress and thinking, well, there's a widget for that. I might as well drag that thing right into the sidebar. So they'll have widgets for top commenters, for all their social media links, like literally every damn one of them. Your categories, your tag clouds, your blog roles, all that stuff just stuffed into the sidebar, and it's just an ungodly sight to look at. So here's the thing. This is called the Blog Marketing Academy. That's the name of my website. That's the name of my company here. So blog marketing, I'm all about creating a blog that is going to serve as an effective marketing tool for you. And I'm here to tell you that most of those widgets that are available to you inside of WordPress are actually a complete waste of your time, and you should not be using them. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's a good idea. So with that being said, what should go on your sidebar? So first of all, I aim towards simplicity. I think that your blog sidebar should be simple, should not be overloaded, and that everything that's there needs to have a strategic reason to be there. If it doesn't have a strategic reason to be there, it should not be there. So at the very top of your sidebar, this is the most important thing that you could put on your sidebar, and that is your opt-in. Because the number one function of your blog is primarily to generate leads, to get people to subscribe to the email list. Now, you need to put a lead magnet at the top of that sidebar. Now, if you're not familiar with a lead magnet, it's essentially a thing that you give away to get them on your list. Now, I'm not talking about some generic ebook or something like that, which is what most people do. A lead magnet is a very specific thing. It's a very specific little chunk of value that you're going to give people so they can solve a specific thing. And I want you to notice how I keep using that word specific. It needs to be something that is going to give them a quick win, help them achieve something, and do it quickly. They should be able to consume it within just a few minutes. It should not be a big drawn out thing. And trust me, I know because I have done it the long way before. My very first lead magnet, if you really wanted to call it that, and I guess at the time it worked, was like 50 some pages long. It was called the Six-Figure Blogger Blueprint. It worked out fine, but that was also because at the time, not everybody and their entire family line was offering PDFs to give away for email opt-in. So the thing is, it worked then. Today, it would not be. It would just blend into the general scenery. So you need to be very specific. You need people to experience a very quick win, be able to consume it quickly, because if they don't consume your lead magnet, it's just a total waste of time. You don't want to clutter their hard drive. You want them to actually go through it. So you got to make it short, and it needs to be specific in what it actually does. Now, at the top of your sidebar, you're going to display that lead magnet. You might have a little bit of copy there. What I mean by copy is just some text, maybe some bullet points, some things that are going to make them want that thing. And then you're going to give them either a full-on opt-in form, which is going to be the email entry and the button to opt in, or you could use like a lead box type thing where you just have a button that says click here to download, and it will pop up the opt-in over top of the website. So that is the absolute most important thing that goes in your sidebar. It should be the most noticeable thing in your sidebar, and it needs to go at the tippy top so that it's literally going to be in everybody's field of view. It's going to be above the fold and not something that somebody's got to scroll down in order to see. Now, what else? I mean, are we just going to put an opt-in form in the sidebar and leave it at that? Well, you could. At least you'd be, at that point, accomplishing the most important function of your blog. But we can do more with that sidebar. That sidebar is valuable real estate, so let's use it effectively. The next thing that I think that you should put in your sidebar is what I like to call the money posts. Now, the money posts are going to be those posts which are aimed at leading either to future revenue or current revenue. Now, so for example, if you have a blog post that has affiliate links in it, and it's a really good piece of content, but it happens to have affiliate links in it, and even better, you're actually seeing some evidence that people are going through those links and actually buying, then that is a money-making post for you. It's a money post. Now, you should then link to that money post in your sidebar directly. Now, another thing would be if you have a post which is designed to be a very effective piece of marketing for one of your products, where it could be like a little funnel structure where that blog post is designed to act as the top of a funnel, maybe to get somebody to opt in for a lead magnet and become a lead for something. That would be a money post. But it's the whole idea that that blog post is designed to serve a actual strategic function for your business. So you want to go through your site and you want to identify what those money posts are, what the most popular posts are. Now, here's the thing. You can use a plugin that will list out the most popular posts on your sidebar, and many people do that. But I actually recommend that you don't allow a plugin to do this automatically. I recommend that you manually select the blog posts that you display in that sidebar so that you can actually make sure that, again, every single thing that's listed there has a strategic reason to be there. If you let the code or you let the algorithm of your plugin do the selection for you, well, it's probably just going to be basing it on traffic stats and little more. But from a marketing standpoint, you want to put the things in front of people that are more likely to communicate real value to them and lead them into something that can help you grow your business. Now, when you actually display these money posts, you can just simply list them out as standard links, or you could actually create a little graphic. Kind of like turning that blog post into a full-on guide and kind of have a little graphic there in your sidebar. Now, don't make it look like a banner ad. It needs to look something different than that, but you can put those things on there where it's kind of like, the ultimate guide to blah, 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 whatever would be relevant to your market, and make a little graphic for that and stick it into your sidebar. Now, obviously, graphics take more room, but they're also more noticeable. Now, if you're going to display graphics, you probably only want to highlight 2 or 3 posts. Don't give them a big, list of, 8 to 10 of these graphics because you're just giving them too many calls to action. But that's a really good, effective use of that real estate in your sidebar. Another thing that you can keep in mind is what's called native advertising. Now, we can go over this more a little bit later in our series here with Coffee Break Blogging, but native advertising is all the rage right now. It's what you see when you go to Facebook, when you see sponsored posts, or when you see promoted tweets on Twitter. It's all about advertising which fits the context that it's sitting in. And those newsfeed ads on Facebook, they look like all the other things showing up in your newsfeed, but yet they're sponsored. So they're native. They're native to that environment. Now, if you ask yourself what's native to the environment on your blog, it's going to be blog content. But it doesn't mean that you can't situate every single thing around that blog post to all work in conjunction to make you money or grow your email list. So how could you do that? How could you optimize one of these money posts that you link to in your sidebar to more effectively grow your business? Well, obviously you want to make sure you've got calls to action inside the blog post, but you can also control what goes around that blog post. For example, put in a custom sidebar. And the sidebar for that blog post will have specific calls to action in there that are uniquely related to that blog post, so that regardless of what they click on the screen, it does you some good. If you ever go to one of these news sites out there on the internet, very often you'll see like a little grid at the bottom of the article that are like related from around the web or something. But many times these are actually sponsored placements of native advertising. And if you click on one of those, and I did this the other day, I clicked on one, I think I forgot what site I was on, but it was some news site, and I clicked on it. It had some picture of Obama sitting there, so it was obviously some political thing. I went to that blog post that they linked to, and it was this blog post looking thing. And the whole site was designed to look exactly like a blog. But if you looked at all the calls to action in the sidebar, Every single one of them led to something that exact business had. So it was designed to look like a blog, but the entire thing was one big ad for something, but it looked like a piece of content. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be that aggressive, but you can apply some of those same principles to your own blog by optimizing everything around your money posts so that they will all do you some good, regardless of what they click on. Okay, so we can go more into that strategy a little bit later. Now, aside from your money posts, what is the other thing that I recommend that you put in your sidebar? Well, it would be your social connections. You do want people to connect with you outside of just the blog and outside of just your email list. You want them to get connected with you on social media. Now, the big thing here is I do recommend that you get a little targeted as to what you're connecting them to. Don't just give them a whole army of social media icons and let them pick. I think you need to focus on one or two different things. If you go to my sidebar right now, it's got a small picture of me, a very brief little bio. It links to my about page, and then I've got a link for somebody to follow me on Twitter. That's pretty much it. I don't want to give them too many things. And that's the mistake that most people make with their sidebar, is that they're going for the impulse click. That's what I call it. It's the same mentality that the grocery store is going for when they stick a bunch of potato chips in the grocery store checkout line. They're hoping that you're going to basically go, well, yeah, I didn't know that I wanted a bag of chips, but now that I see it, I kind of want a bag of chips. So you buy a big bag of Funyuns. Great. You don't want your sidebar to work that way. You want everything there to be strategic, to lead to something, and don't give them so many things that you don't control what they're doing. This is about funneling their attention. And if you litter up your sidebar with too many things, it's not going to work out as well from a marketing standpoint. And all those widgets that are built into WordPress with the categories and the tags and all that, just keep in mind, people don't really navigate that way, especially if you give them a big drop down that has like 20 categories in it. It's just a big waste of time. All right, so that is what should go in your blog sidebar. The top three are the lead magnet at the very top. Right below that, your money posts. And then right below that, a small mention of some way to connect with you on social media or to learn more about you. Okay? Those are the big three, okay? So I want you, if you want to take this a little bit further and you want to really optimize your blog and go through every single component, not just your sidebar of your blog, and make sure that's really operating in the right way, you can actually take this to the next level with a brand new action plan that I've released over at the Blog Marketing Academy, and I'm simply calling it the Perfect Blog Blueprint. And what this is an action plan which goes very strategically, very targeted through all these different components of your blog, including all the design elements as well as the structure of your content itself. And I show you how to optimize each one for conversions and maximum effect. That's the Perfect Blog Blueprint. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go over to blogmarketingacademy.com/blog blueprint, and it will take you right to that action plan so you can learn more about it. These action plans they're doing really well inside the training vault over at the Academy. They're not full-on courses. They're not just simple PDF reports. They fall right in the middle. It's like a little mini course, but you can literally just follow along with the system. Check it off as you do. My system will keep track of where you left off, so you'll know exactly where you are, and it will guide you through accomplishing a very specific outcome. And in this case, we're talking about maximizing the conversion opportunities of your existing blog. So anyway, once again, that's blogmarketingacademy.com/blog blueprint. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, head over to iTunes, leave a quick review for me, an honest review, I should say. I'm not sitting here saying you can only go over there if you have something great to say. I want honest reviews, regardless of what they are, over inside of iTunes for Coffee Break Blogging. And with that, I'll see you in a few days with the next episode in our series. See you then.